the Brown Advisory Novices Chase, the Grade 1. This has been a big benefactor of the fact that the 2.5 mile race has been changed to a handicap now. Ballyburn heads the market, and you'd have to say rightly so, given the fact of what he's done throughout his career, not just this season. Having the stones to go to Kempton to take on Sagino, you could quite easily see at the start of the season that you've got the two best chasers, regardless of their trip, would have been Ballyburn and Sagino, I think, for most people. We could probably throw a few others in the mix. And then Willie Mullins decides to test if he's going to be fast enough at 2 miles to take on the one that's like next in the pecking order and going to throw away £6 on really quick ground. Like, that is the testament to the horse. For him to get as close as he did to Sagino, he's clearly a weapon. There's every reason to think that he will stay. And although this is a race that typically goes to a horse that has got form at the trip, because the middle distance race has gone, I wouldn't hold it against him that he hasn't tried 3 miles yet. So I think he looks pretty solid. I thought his run last time was really good because it looked educational at the same time as being impressive. And what I mean by that is his sort of slower jumping. They've had to go from running breakneck speeds against Sagino to, you got to settle this horse over 2 mile 5 that it was there. And you can't really ask him to jump as quickly for that long a time because it's not fair to the horse for them to understand that they've got to sustain the gallop. So I thought it was a perfect performance at Dublin Racing Festival, and he was pretty much a length down, wasn't he, when they jumped the last, and then put 5 lengths between himself and the second. Yeah. It was I thought it was a phenomenal effort. I think there's every reason to think that he wins this race. I think the 7-4 about him is a fair price. But there is another horse that I've had on my radar for this for a long time, and I think if the original 2.5 mile race was here, Ballyburn would have been going for that. And I think that regardless of whether that race was here or not, Better Days Ahead would have been coming to the Brown Advisory. His Martin Pipe win was good. And for all that his run last time wasn't really very flashy because his stablemate, he was getting weight from, closed in on him. And then even the horse that made a mistake, was it 3 Car Bragg, he closed in on him a little bit towards there. But I don't want to say he's an idle horse because that's not positive to say that I think he'll go and win a Grade 1 at the Cheltenham Festival, but he didn't get taken along for as long as he needed to. And going against a horse like Ballyburn of his calibre, he's going to get such a long toe into this race. And then I think when he gets to the hill at Cheltenham like last year, he just eats it up. So if there's any small chink in Ballyburn's armour in terms of a stamina test or any of those sort of things, I think the only horse that will expose that is Better Days Ahead from a class perspective. Dancing City, I think, is one of the worst price horses of the entire week, which will probably come back to bite me on the bum. But he's a 3-1 poke, and he needs a bog as far as I'm concerned. He was getting weight from the mare last time, and everything went right from the Albert Bartlett last year, and he got beat. So I know he's got some really good form and about this trip, but I don't think he's in the class of a Ballyburn or even a Better Days Ahead. So I think it's between Ballyburn and Better Days Ahead. I bet both of them. I can't see the winner coming from anything else. Am I wrong, Will?
I don't think you are. No, I think they're the two for me as well. And I think, I mean, we talked on the day one preview about various shorties, likes of Copec de Board and Majbra, and then Mayor's Hurdle and Champion Hurdles, etc., and various accumulators that people might want. I think at the current prices, 7-4 top price about Ballyburn, you know, scrap all those multiples, just save your money and put it on that, I think. I mean, that's a brilliant price. I think about the horse who reminds me quite a lot of Bobsworth, the way that Bobsworth used to do things. Probably a classier version of Bobsworth, actually, in that he's been able to win graded races over hurdles at around about 2 miles, 2.5 miles. This is Ballyburn. But everything he does, to me, he just looks like he's going to be... I mean, he's a Gold Cup horse, isn't he? I think, without a shadow of a doubt, Ballyburn. He looks like the further he goes, the better he gets, but he's also very, very classy to boot. I think he's comfortably the best of these. The one horse that would give him a race, I think, might be running in the Arkle, which is Django Bay. So, you know, more of that maybe later if there's a switcheroo, but I strongly think he could be a potential Gold Cup horse somewhere down the line as well. But might not be that we get the matchup here that could be interesting. So for me, 7-4 Ballyburn, in terms of, you know, shorter priced horses at the meeting, I mean, I'd have him a stronger fancy than all of those various odds-on shots or close to even money on day one. I think Ballyburn is one of the best priced, short-priced horses of the whole meeting at this stage.
Oh, I love it, Will. This is why we do these things together, isn't it? Confirmation bias. But I echo your sentiments as well. Even after the Dublin Racing Festival, you get the wake and you think, oh, what price are they going to chalk him up off the back of that? And I was thinking, I always like to try and feel like I'm sneaking a bit extra as well. I was thinking, if they make him 6-4, then you've got to bet him. And they've made him 2-1. And I'm thinking, all right, maybe I need to go back and watch this back. Then you watch it back and think, Christ, maybe he should have been even money. But he definitely looks like a good price, doesn't he? I think in terms of one of those there, everything's got its relative chance, isn't it? But his chance, I think, is much greater than the price that he is, and that's essentially the concept of value, isn't it? I'd say if you run this race 10 times,
definitely
he definitely wins more than 3 of them.